Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Purity. You're so welcome to my channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, share and comment on my videos. And today we're crocheting this beautiful pencil skirt stroke fitting skirt. This is a very simple tutorial and it will take you really less time and easy instructions to create such a beautiful skirt. And this is how the front of my skirt looks. It has ribbing at the waist, and this is how the back of the skirt looks. Remember, you can make it long if you want to. So let's get started with the tutorial. I am using thin yarn. You can use medium weight yarn if you have, but for this project I'm using thin yarn, so I will double the yarn to get the medium weight effect. And this is 100% acrylic yarn, a tape measure, a pair of scissors, a stitch marker and a 2.5 mm hook. This is all you need, and a darning needle. Okay, as I said, I'm doubling my yarn to get the medium weight effect, and I'm using a 2.5 mm hook to crochet. So to begin, you need to make a slip knot, and this is how I make my slip knot. Once you have your slip knot, you will do chains, and you're chaining as long as you want your skirt to reach. That means we are chaining from the waist all the way to where you want your skirt to reach. As for me, I want a mini skirt, so I will chain less chains. And remember, to work on this project, you need your hips measurements minus 8 inches. So that's all you need. You need your length of the skirt and hips measurements minus 8 inches. So I've chained 20 right now, and I'm going to put a stitch marker on my 20th stitch. So that first 20 is the ribbing at the waist area. Okay, so first chain 20 and put a stitch marker on your 20th stitch, and then you'll continue with your chains up to where you want your skirt to reach. Okay, so I'm just continuing with my chains up to where I want my skirt to reach. Then we will start with the pattern. So this is how long I have chained. I want my skirt to reach up to 22 inches. So I have chained up to 22 inches. As from here, we are going to start with our pattern. So you'll chain 2 more chains, yarn over, skip the first 2 chains from the hook, and on the 3rd chain, we are working with half double crochets. So you're making half double crochets all the way until you get where you put your stitch marker. Then we will change the type of stitch. Okay, I am at the stitch marker. That was the first row of double crochets. Once you get to the stitch marker, remove your stitch marker, and from here we will work with single crochets. Okay, remember, we need our waist to be smaller and the body of the skirt to be bigger. So to make the smaller waist, we are working with single crochets. And once you've done your first single crochet, please remember to put back your stitch marker on that 20th stitch, and then you'll continue working single crochets all the way up until you come to your last stitch. Okay, so it's first double crochets, then single crochets. The waist is made using single crochets and the body of the skirt is made using half double crochets. I am done, and this is how my work looks. The first 20 stitches is single crochets, then the rest of the skirt is half double crochets. To begin row 2, you will chain 1, turn your work, and we are doing a row of single crochets until you get to your stitch marker. Okay, do rows of single crochets and I'll meet you at the stitch marker. I am at the stitch marker, and this is how my single crochets look. Remove your stitch marker and put your last single crochets at the stitch marker. Okay, put your last single crochet here, and always remember to put back your stitch marker at that 20th single crochet, always. Okay, so put back your stitch marker, and now we are doing a row of half double crochets. Always remember to yarn over first to do half double crochets, and we are working half double crochets across all the stitches that you have, and I will meet you at the end of this row once you're done doing your half double crochets. I am done with my row of half double crochets, and this is how my work looks. To begin a new row, we are on this side where we are working with half double crochets. So to begin a new row, you will chain 2. Note the difference. Chain 2 when you're doing a row of half double crochets. Turn your work. Always remember to yarn over and start working from the first stitch, and do half double crochets all the way to the stitch marker. I will meet you once you're at the stitch marker. So always remember to chain 2 when you're working with a row of half double crochets, and chain 1 when you're working with a row of single crochet. That is the difference. I am done, and we are the stitch marker. Once you get to the stitch marker, remove your stitch marker, and always remember this is where we start doing single crochets. Do your first single crochet and please remember to put back your stitch marker. It helps with the counting and make sure your work is well aligned. So continue with single crochets until the top and I'll meet you at the top. I am done, and to begin a new row, this row of single crochet, you're just chaining one, and then you turn your work and work single crochet starting from the first stitch all the way until you get your stitch marker. Once you're at the stitch marker, remove the stitch marker, do the last single crochet at the stitch marker, then start the row of half double crochet. So that is the pattern, and you're working like that until you get to your hips measurement. And please note, take your hips measurements minus 8 inches. So whatever hips measurement you have, minus 8 inches, and that's how long we will work. So I'll meet you once you're here at the stitch marker. Remove your stitch marker, put your last single crochet. Always remember to put back your stitch marker and continue with the pattern, which is now half double crochets. And remember, with half double crochet, to start a new row you chain 2. As for my skirt, I am size 37 hips, 37 minus 8 inches. I'm working up to 29 inches length. So do that and I'll meet you once you have achieved your hips measurements minus 8 inches. I am done working with my skirt, and as I said, I worked up to 28 inches. Okay, and this is how my work looks. I hope yours looks the same too. The waist is smaller and the body is quite bigger, giving it the pencil shape. Okay, so this is how my work looks, and as I said, I'm size small, and my hips measurements are 37 inches minus 8. That means I worked all the way to 28 inches, 14 on this side and 14 on the other side. So the whole thing is 28 inches. And now we want to join. Once you're done, you will join either using a darning needle or your hook. I'm still using the 2.5 mm hook to join. You can use a darning needle or a hook. As for me, I'm using my hook. And to join, I am using single crochets, and I'm starting to join from the waist going downwards. So join using single crochets, and I'll meet you once you're done joining your work. I'm done joining my work, and this is how my work looks. The inside part looks like that and the outside part looks like this. So now we want to do the ribbing at the lower side of our skirt, and then we will be done with our project. So please do not cut off your yarn because we want to do the ribbing. So to do the ribbing, and we are working on the right side now. Once you're done joining, please turn your work to the right side and we'll start doing ribbing. And to work on the ribbing, first chain 2. 1, 2, and we are going in the first stitch here, and we will do 2 double crochets in that first stitch. The first double crochet, then go to the same space and do the second double crochet. And now from here we will change and start working with 1 single crochet first, and then do a double crochet in the same space. Okay, so now we are starting with single crochet, then double crochet. Once you're done, go to the next stitch, do a single crochet, and then in the same space do a double crochet. So we are working like that all round until we come here where we began from, and we will join using a slip knot. This is how my work looks, and as I said, at the end here we will join using a slip stitch. Come here on that top of chain 2 and finish up using a slip stitch, then cut off your yarn and fasten your work. Okay, cut off your yarn and fasten your work. Make sure it's tight enough so that it does not run, and then you will stitch in the loose yarn and you are good to go. I'm hoping this was an easy tutorial to follow, and I hope you'll make this and tag me in your posts. So this is how you stitch in your excess yarn using a darning needle. This is how my skirt looks. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Give it a thumbs up, and please remember to subscribe, comment, like, and share my videos. See you in my next tutorial. We'll be making a top for this skirt. Thank you again for watching, and have a blessed week. Goodbye.